To be quite honest, then he became friends with Duane Martin, which used to be one of my friends on All of Us. And when I introduced them, that was one of the worst things I ever did.
Who was on top?
It wasn't a top. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Duane was standing up, killing him. Them knowing all the information that I have, Will is thinking about making a statement of him being bi.
I know y'all probably felt this coming. Duane Martin woke up to a full-blown nightmare when LisaRaye McCoy, who once claimed she lost her husband to him, reappeared in the public eye, dragging him back into the wild Will Smith threesome tape saga that everyone can't stop talking about. As the reports started crashing down, the burning question on everybody's mind was simple. How much more damage can Will Smith's reputation actually take? Because this time, the allegations aren't coming from random keyboard warriors. They're coming from people who were allegedly in the room, making the claims hit way harder and adding serious weight to the drama.
The problem was I married a playboy.
For Duane Martin, being dragged into the Will Smith mess like this feels almost impossible to escape. He's pushing back, but the harder he fights, the more the spotlight seems to pin him in place. LisaRaye's comeback wasn't some random coincidence. This goes way back. Years ago, she publicly accused Duane of getting too close to her former husband, Turks and Caicos ex-Prime Minister Michael Missick.
Yes, you know my dirt as my brother, as my friend, but you my friend. I introduced you to him. What are you doing? I'm still kind of confused about that one. So needless to say, me and Duane don't with each other at all.
According to LisaRaye, her marriage crumbled because of that bond. She claims she literally lost her husband to Duane Martin, saying that Duane ended up closer to Missick than she ever was, leaving her sidelined in her own marriage.
Somehow within that relationship, I lost my husband to Duane Martin, and they became better friends than what me and my husband did, and I couldn't understand that for the love of God.
Now, the timing couldn't have been worse for Duane Martin. People started piecing together old interviews with the latest Will Smith controversies, and suddenly every word LisaRaye ever said was being treated like proof. His public image was under attack all over again, and there was nowhere to hide. If it weren't linked to Will Smith, a man whose private life is already under a microscope by millions, Duane's situation might have been easier to shrug off, but it is. And that connection makes every allegation land heavier, louder, and more damaging than ever. And things didn't stop there. Duane Martin's alleged connection to Will Smith quickly blew up into something way bigger than your usual gossip. It became a story tangled in history, context, and plenty of interest. Brother Bilal, who is known to have been Will's assistant for decades, went public saying he had walked in on the two while they were getting busy. According to him, when he opened the door to Duane's dressing room, he saw Duane and Will bumping uglies.
They were all together during Thanksgiving. Now, I'm going to tell you the power of this internet with over 1 billion impressions. My understanding that Will is now thinking about coming out.
The claims spread like wildfire, and unlike typical rumors, it carried extra weight because it came from someone who'd been close to Will Smith for over 40 years. Even without hard proof, both haters and fans ran with it, blending old jokes, viral clips, and conspiracy threads into a situation that seemed to consume Duane completely.
Beating Jada, right? And seek forgiveness for that, because there's no reason to beat her. This is where my victory comes, because sometimes words hurt more than fists.
And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, Will Smith's legal troubles keep stacking up, dragging anyone connected to him deeper into the chaos. Bare a week has passed since Brian King Joseph, a violinist who toured with Smith in 2024 and 2025, filed a lawsuit claiming intentional grooming and exploitation. On paper, this had nothing to do with Duane Martin, but in the court of public opinion, everything changed. Any allegation linked to Will suddenly felt heavier, more credible, and impossible to ignore. Even comedian Corey Holcomb weighed in, suggesting Hollywood harbors a secret DL culture that keeps closeted men, like Will allegedly, from being fully seen.
Will like guys.
How you know?
There's a lot of opportunities I don't get because the guys don't want me to see them with their boyfriends.
Layered on top of brother Bilal's testimony, these claims painted a picture of suspicion around Duane that he could never have anticipated when he quietly tried to distance himself from Will years ago. And then there's Jada Pinkett Smith, whose mere presence in this situation instantly adds weight to every allegation floating around. Nothing about her feels neutral anymore. She's been painfully open about feeling frustrated, overlooked, and emotionally starved in her long, very public marriage to Will. And over time, she's become the face of women trapped with powerful men who look perfect on paper but fail to show up where it actually counts. As you know, Jada isn't some silent bystander lingering in the background of this mess. Her own words, actions, and legal battles make it clear that there's always been far more happening behind closed doors than the polished image ever suggested. Take brother Bilal, for example. He didn't just talk, he filed a $3 million lawsuit directly against her, alleging intimidation and outright threats. According to him, Jada didn't hint or imply. She allegedly warned him flat out that he would end up missing or catch a bullet if he didn't stop talking about what he knows. And her response since then hasn't been soft or subtle. It's been aggressive and relentless. She's fighting back hard, digging her heels in and making it painfully obvious that controlling the narrative is non-negotiable for her. Yes, she's protecting herself first, without question. But by doing that, she's also shielding anyone tied to her and Will, from Duane Martin to anyone else caught up in this mess. The pattern here is obvious, and it keeps replaying itself. These women pour their best years into these men, their youth, energy, loyalty, and everything they have. And then, eventually, the mask slips. The men reveal themselves as closeted or habitually unfaithful. And when that truth finally surfaces, these women don't disappear quietly or swallow the pain to protect someone else's image. When they eventually speak up, they name it plainly and stop cushioning the truth, leaving behind no soft landing and no polite exits. Anyone caught in the middle, whether they knowingly walked straight into the mess or got dragged in simply by being close by, ends up paying a real price. The consequences hit fast, spiral out of control, and refuse to die down. And once that kind of damage spreads, there's no true fix, just lingering fallout that clings to everyone involved, resurfacing again and again for years. Clearly, LisaRaye's accusations resurfacing right now land like a lightning strike out of nowhere. She didn't dance around the issue. She openly described Duane as someone who allegedly pushed her husband deeper into cheating, even with women.
He became disrespectful with introducing my husband to different women, and women that we actually knew as friends and associates.
The claims are blunt, uncomfortable, and impossible to shrug off, and the timing is almost cruel. With Will Smith already buried under fresh lawsuits and non-stop speculation, Duane Martin is being pulled back into a mess that refuses to let him go. This isn't just about rumors anymore, it's about stinking by association. Every time LisaRaye's name trends, his past replays itself on a loop. Every time Will becomes a headline, Duane's name follows like a shadow. And obviously, the legal side of all this is only making the chaos louder and messier by the day. The denials coming from Will and Jada, calling the claims nonsense, ridiculous, or even straight up funny, haven't slowed anything down at all.
Still have those same rumors out about people you love, like Will and Duane.
It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense.
If anything, they've done the opposite. Every denial turns into fresh fuel. Another quote gossip blogs replay non-stop. Another clip social media breaks down frame by frame. Another soundbite late-night commentators chew up like it's proof instead of defense. Meanwhile, the lawsuits refuse to disappear quietly. Joseph's case, Bilal's separate case, they just sit there, hanging over everything, reminding people that this isn't just messy street talk or wild Twitter conspiracy theories. These are formal accusations on paper with lawyers attached, and as long as those cases exist, the pressure stays on. It doesn't ease up unless Will Smith either shuts them down piece by piece in court, or they get fully tossed out. But here's the cold truth. Even if that happens, even if Will technically wins, a lot of people won't see it that way. There will always be a crowd ready to say it's just another example of how rich, powerful people beat the system. So now, whether it's fair or not, the stain on Will Smith's image is starting to feel permanent, because once public opinion shifts, they don't wait around for legal paperwork to change their minds. For Duane Martin, being dragged into Will Smith's alleged drama is nothing short of a total disaster, and it cuts even deeper because it fits neatly into a pattern the public already seems to accept as the reality of the Hollywood elite. Wealth, long-buried secrets, and unchecked desire, making his mess feel inescapable and impossible to downplay. The stakes are blown up tenfold simply because he's linked to one of the most scrutinized celebrities alive, someone whose every move is broken down every single time. Reportedly, Duane's reaction has been a cocktail of pure anger, raw frustration, and defensive energy, and honestly, it makes total sense. At this stage, the story isn't about cold, hard facts anymore. It's about control over the narrative, and Duane completely lost that control the second LisaRaye's old words resurfaced and started spreading again.
So needless to say, me and Duane don't with each other at all. Him.
Meanwhile, Will Smith's reputation is wobbling harder by the day under the weight of all these piling allegations, from the lawsuits filed against him to the persistent DL rumors that refuse to die, and now brother Bilal stepping forward with his own detailed account of what he claims went on behind closed doors. The public is left staring at the headlines thinking one thing: there's just no way all of this is completely false. When you lay it all out, the sheer number of stories, the different voices coming forward, and the patterns in certain details, it starts to feel impossible that nothing at all is true. People aren't just scrolling past anymore. They're connecting dots and wondering how much more might still surface. As it stands, Will Smith's personal life, already a non-stop magnet for controversy, pulls anyone around him right into the spotlight, especially men like Duane Martin, whose past actions and associations make them perfect targets for public scrutiny. And as long as Will's story keeps evolving, this mess isn't going anywhere. Every new allegation, every resurfaced clip, every legal filing just adds another layer to the narrative, stretching it farther and making it harder to escape. It's no wonder Duane Martin is furious. He's battling a story he never started, can't control, and that only grows bigger no matter what he does. But in the ruthless world of Hollywood gossip, that's exactly how it works. Timing, context, credibility, and old grievances often shape the outcome far more than cold, hard facts ever could.
We have real wives. Yes,
we have real wives, and they're on the show, and they rule when they're on the show.
Why y'all saying it like that? Yes, we have real wives.
We are an afterthought.
At this point, Duane isn't just pushing back against a single rumor. He's trapped in the middle of decades of scandal, court battles, and a culture that can't stop checking out every move. And everyone watching has already made up their minds. In the end, Duane Martin may be furious, defensive, and backed into a corner, but the public doesn't pause for nothing. They're here not just for the drama, but for the raw, sometimes painful truth. And that's how I know y'all will be here glued to every moment, watching it all unfold right up to the very last second.